Record then.
Hello and welcome to episode 181 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
The Wall 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Please subscribe and tell a friend.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello, Wolves fans.
And Jack Williams.
Sorry, how many 5-star on Spotify? You've missed that bit out.
We're up to 48 now, so there we go.
Made me chuckle when I was listening on the way to the game the other day, so it's good value. Right, okay, well, let's start with Norwich. Harry, wow. I mean, can we say that you didn't even come to your seat during that game? It was that much of a letdown. And for full disclosure, me and Bayliss did the same for the second half because it was down in the concourse in real time. Strange starting lineup because we had three in the middle, which I don't think anybody would have guessed didn't guess last week. Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho. Let's start with that because, we lose Adama Traore and then we end up having to play two up front where we normally want to play three.
Yeah, but the weirdest thing is, if you think back to the Brentford game, the only change was Ruddy for Jose Sarr. The team was exactly the same with the three in midfield. Gomez was in against Brentford as well.
Oh, not that.
Yeah, the team, there was one change, weren't there, from the Brentford game, and that was Ruddy for Sarr. Obviously, Raul only made the bench. But Dendoncker, man, where was he playing? Because obviously, I had quite a good view of the game, watching it on the telly down the concourse. And he was kind of just like drifting forward into the right-hand side position, which was bizarre for me. The team, I mean, look, we beat Brentford with the same team, really, but it wasn't very good, was it? I know we tried changing it second half to try and chase an equaliser. Just wasn't good at all. Everyone was off it. Pedence and Fabio really struggled, I thought. And just a shame, really, because I wanted a good cup run and it wasn't to be. And I think, as Tim Spears said, I think everyone was still gutted about Kiddie. That's a joke, by the way. Obviously not about Kiddie Harris. I can't believe you said that, by the way. Or did you just ask the question? I don't know. But yeah, poor performance.
Bayliss, thoughts on that performance?
I think, on reflection, the only thing I can come to terms with this is that we wanted to lose it. I haven't seen us play that bad for a long time. Have you? Has any of you watched us play that badly for a while?
Brentford at home, maybe.
Yeah, at least we tried to chase a goal there.
It's a bit of fine margins, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, Pedence hit the post and it nearly went off the keeper, didn't it? So, I mean, had our chances. Thought Semedo had a good game.
I just thought we were just generally poor. I thought the football was poor. Like, all round, it wasn't a very good game of football. And
good last-ditch tackles in the Semedo, Jack. One in the first half, one in the second half as well.
Yeah, if you're looking for positives, I mean, it's quite hard to find any, isn't it? Really. So I thought it was shocking. It was not a very enjoyable day out. It was freezing cold.
It was cold.
Lackluster football. I mean, it did improve a little bit in the second half. I thought we did try and go for it a little bit, but that first half performance was just shocking, really. And I know people are starting to been singling players out, and you've mentioned Dendoncker already, but I thought Neves was poor as well. Players like Neves and Podence were poor. Players that have been really good in recent weeks, and are the reason we are where we are in the league. Just wasn't firing. It just wasn't working for some reason. And I hate to do it, but I'm sort of looking back to the fact this is our first game after the January window shut. Bruno's won Manager of the Month, so whether that plays into it or not, I don't know. The curse there. But if you're looking at it, and the first game after the January transfer window has closed, we don't have enough players to play our preferred position, to play our preferred formation.
Yeah.
Because we've got one fit winger because Trincão's got COVID. What are we doing? It's just we're waiting for these players to come back and banking on them being able to bolster the squad, even though they're still 3-4 more weeks away. And it just seems bizarre to me, really. To be fair to the lad, Chiquinho, when he came on, I thought, he actually did all right. He probably should have started him if it meant that we were actually more attacking and could create more stuff. But it just seemed like a massive off day all round from the team. And you're looking at the squad and you're thinking, it's still not big enough right now. Okay, you might be saying at the start of March, it might look a lot different, but we've got the biggest month we've had coming up in terms of the league games in a long time. Really competitive games against teams around us, and the squad doesn't look big enough. And you've just arguably, like, the player that you needed in that situation to come on and change a game, you've just shipped him off to Barcelona the week before. So it's I was just really quite I didn't really watch any more football after that on Saturday because it was just really, really disappointing. And I mean, Norwich didn't offer very much, did they? Really, I don't think they were brilliant. They scored a set piece. They had some chances to win it really on the break when we had to push forward. Poor game of football, poor from Wolves. But you can point fingers at the players, which I think you kind of have to. But also, you got to point fingers at the squad because it just looks too thin again.
Do you think Chiquinho should have started, Harry? Because it was one of those we said last week, wasn't it? That, we could have some decent players on our hands here, but we're never going to know if we're just going to give them 15 minutes chasing the game at the end of an FA Cup tie.
It's easy to say that in hindsight, though, isn't it? Because
Captain hindsight.
It is, though, isn't it? Because Bruno Lage's comments about Chiquinho was he's not ready at all. But obviously, Jack mentioned he come on and did okay, but we played the same team, like I mentioned, apart from Ruddy, against Brentford away and won. So it was just a really poor performance on the day. And Trincao got COVID, as mentioned, just before the game. So it was one of them. And Bruno Lage's comments after the game were pretty telling, weren't they? He was, I don't know, he'll probably get told off for that because he was just basically saying, I got no players, which is true, isn't it? We've got one fit winger, which is Pedence, really. You don't count Chiquinho. And Raul was just come back from Mexico and that. And obviously Sace was being rested too. It's weird because we're in a great position, but I agree with Jack. It just feels crazy that we're in this position in terms of coming out the January transfer window. Then Traore rubs salt in the wounds by playing amazing for Barcelona, setting up a goal and running on ragged. And just one of those days, wasn't it? And let's hope that is the manager of the month winning title curse, whatever you want to call it. And let's hope that we can somehow perform with this really small squad.
The Arsenal game is so telling now. Because if we don't turn up Thursday night, geez, fair enough. If he went, look, go and have a run about, it's FA Cup, we're going for the top 6 or whatever he's thinking, then all's forgiven. Doesn't matter. We had a bad game. It was crap. It was crap for the fans. But then if we go and do the business against Arsenal Thursday night, so what? Doesn't matter. Because that shows that we've actually got the intent to go and get up there and mix it with these sort. Arsenal have been on a terrible run of form. Absolutely awful. They got stuffed in the cup by Forest a couple of weeks ago. They haven't been playing particularly well. It's one of those where Wolves in a packed Thursday night at Molineux should really be going for this. And I think it's going to be telling of what's happening with the team now going forward. After good results against the teams we should beat, can we go and mix it now with the lot around us?
We will get on to Arsenal, but before we do that, Jack, I think it's almost the elephant in the room, really, and it's the atmosphere and the crowd that was there on Saturday as well. Is that a sign of things to come as the club becomes more successful? I think you made that a comment along those sort of lines. We had a woman come in by us who wanted to go and sit by her grandson. It was his first game and that sort of thing. Not that I'm knocking that, but it wasn't a meaty occasion in the stands.
I mean, I'll be honest, you three didn't come up for the second half, so you're in no position to talk, really. It's a different crowd, isn't it, for cup games? And I was quite happy that it was basically, a sellout, wasn't it? So that's good. And I know people get funny about it because it is a different crowd for cup games like this when it's cheap, against not really a glamour tie. Because, a lot of season ticket holders probably won't take up the option in their tickets. So, but I don't think you can slate the people wanting to bring their family because it's the next generation of fans. And let's be honest, if all the season ticket holders went, it'll be the same crowd because they'd just take up all the space, wouldn't they? So the reason that their spaces are available for people to bring their extended family or their children or their grandchildren, whatever it is because the normal season ticket holders aren't taking up the tickets. And I think I'm fine with that. I think it's a good opportunity to get people excited, a new fresh blood into the club. But I know there are a few people who will probably think differently, but I think they're just being a bit miserable, really, because you need to bring in new fans. It can't be the same lot of us old fogies all the time. So I don't really have a problem with it, really. And like I said, it wouldn't happen if people took up the opportunity of buying their tickets, and which they haven't done. So,
Harry.
Yeah, well, I can't really say much. I was down the concourse.
Well, she was trying to get into your seat.
Yeah. No, obviously, because usually they don't show the game in the concourse anymore, do they? But because it's FA Cup, they did. So I thought, let's have a beer and watch it. But yeah, I could tell the atmosphere was strange, even being in and around the stadium, even in the concourse. It was the most packed I've ever seen it, just after half time, by the way. Usually it's empty because obviously everyone goes back to their seat. But I agree, you've got to get the new generations of fans through. That the game against Sheffield United, the previous round, a good entertaining win. I mean, I bet there was kids wanting to come back. You know what I mean? The ones who can't usually go because it's a sellout. So they would have probably returned, and it's just a disappointing performance in that aspect, I guess. But what do you do? The atmosphere was obviously dead, but on the pitch weren't the best, was it? So it's hard to get the atmosphere going. And the last few years, I've said a lot of times on this podcast, when we're playing teams we think we're going to beat, the atmosphere has been pretty dead at Molineux anyway. So there's no surprise there.
Like being the underdogs seems to be
the atmosphere games, yeah.
Let's have a look at Arsenal at home then. Next game up at Molineux, as Bayliss has already mentioned.
Sam, we can't move on.
Why?
We've got to talk about the goal and what was happening in the stands and what someone on this podcast was saying.
So I was going to spare. I was going to spare Bayliss's blushes then, but as you so kindly,
I'll articulate it.
I think what you said, Bayliss, is you were trying to say that it was Semedo's fault for the goal,
for Norwich's goal.
Call me old-fashioned, but the
or
way
blind.
I think a set piece should be defended is that your right-sided players protect the right-hand side of the box, your central players protect the centre of the box, and the ones on the other side protect what could come over the top.
And Harry said,
"Now, yeah,
they're man marking."
They were man marking, but I actually watched it back in slow motion and screen grabbed all of it. Yeah. No one moves. No one out of all of them, names aside, none of them move more than about.
No, but the names was the problem.
Yeah, because I think a front post flick on should be your right back's job. It should be your right back's job. In the old-fashioned way of football, that's what it is. If it's the first bloke, then the right back's picking him up. If it's the middle blokes, then the centre backs do, and so on and so forth.
Or if you play five at the back.
What actually did happen is that no one moved. It was absolute statues if you watch it. Aït-Nouri was bloody having a fag break for all you could tell. Neves at the front post didn't move a muscle. No one shouted him to go with him or shouted an overlap. The two that marked on the penalty spot took 2 steps backwards to the edge of the 6-yard box and didn't make another move after that. And Ruddy got lobbed. I mean, I know we have defended absolutely brilliantly for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been superb in defence. That's a really bad goal to concede. To stand like statues like that, and Brentford did it to us, remember?
Yeah, so
statues like that is really bad defending.
That's the point I'd make. Is obviously we let Tony be free against Brentford, but I watched it back because obviously Bailey said it's Semedo's fault, and I had a look, and it was Aït-Nouri's man who ended up winning the header, by the way, and they were man marking. A lot of people were blaming Ruddy after the game straight away, saying, because I think he just thought he was going over, didn't he, and just kind of like left it and didn't attempt to get it. But that's harsh, blaming Ruddy. I thought it's on the day as well.
You've got to blame Harry. It's got to be your front post man or your front 2 defenders on a ball coming in from either side of the box have got to be there to stop the flick on. Flick on is like, I don't know what percentage are, but super high percentage chance. If you get a flick on, first touch in the box and get it towards goal or the penalty spot, you've got an opportunity on goal there. And Wolves let him have a free head on it.
Yeah, if you're going to single anyone out, it was Aït-Nouri's man if you watch it back. So you can't single out Semedo. We've gone over this in WhatsApp,
I know. And when we were discussing it, it was at the time talking about how you position defenders. And my point being that traditionally I would have had the right back defending the right-hand side of your goal. So it's okay. If it had been the other way around, it would have been the left back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for what it's worth, I thought Aït-Nouri and Semedo were probably two of our best players on the day, and we're along with Kilman. So it's harsh just to criticise them. But Ruddy as well, he was getting a lot of the blame, but he made 2 really good saves on the day as well.
Thought he did. Yeah, he did.
So I thought he did okay. So I don't really want to single him out, which a lot of people do.
One thing I will say in Dan's defence is he's managed to articulate that much better than he did after 8 points to San Miguel on Saturday. Where he was just shouting about Semedo.
When you come down at half time and he started saying it, I thought, is he on the wind up here? Like,
oh no, he was just drunk. He's just drunk and doesn't like Semedo. That's what happened. But now he's made up a sort of backstory to try and justify it. Now
I was using a semi-rational football methodology to defending. It wasn't like completely out of the blue.
Anyway, let's clear that one up because I wish everyone could have seen our WhatsApp conversations. That'd have been more. We should stop talking on WhatsApp and just talk on here, shouldn't we?
We should just link the phones up. Arsenal. Can you make any changes, Harry?
Well, I don't know.
Apart from Sarr.
Well, is Trincao got to isolate again? What's the rules of that?
I don't think he'll be back in time for this.
Well, he's going to start Raul.
He's
He's starting Raul, isn't he? Definitely. Start Raul Jimenez. I mean, Fabio didn't really do much, did he? And apart from that, Saïs back in for Totti Gomez, I'd say, if he's had enough rest, which I think we need that to happen. Obviously, Sarr comes in. And just a quick note as well, obviously, Cody made his 300 appearance, didn't he? Well done, Cody. Obviously, I'm his biggest fan. I've said he's amazing. So, yeah, that's it, really. I think he might even though we're at home, which I don't really want to happen, but I think he's going to go with the three midfielders again. I would probably just chuck Chiquinho in after the way we performed with the three in there, because Dendoncker weren't up to much, was he? But would he put that responsibility on him? A big game against Arsenal at home. So I think we're going to see Dendoncker, Moutinho and Neves in midfield again, which I don't want to see, but that would be my guess.
Not at home. It's just
Jack?
straight away. It's just coming to haunt us, isn't it? The small squad. We'll let one player go. One player's got injured /COVID. And we're screwed because we're having to throw in a player potentially if we want to play our preferred formation at home, which we should do against Arsenal. It's how we're most effective. We've got to play a player who's had 15 minutes of football since joining. It's just a shit show, really. I mean, what else could you do? I hope we don't play the three in the middle, but I think he's got no choice if with the players available and without properly having to throw somebody in the deep end. And then if you do start Chiquinho, what attacking options you got on the bench? Fabio was poor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fabio was poor, and he's had some good games recently, but Norwich was not one of them. Although he got a bit screwed over with a couple of decisions, I thought, from the referee. But
Kem Campbell, is that the only attacking?
Oh, God, he's about 18, and
that's what I mean. It's embarrassing, isn't it?
It's
bordering on embarrassing. Is it embarrassing or is it gross incompetence to be on the 8th of February be talking about this when we've just had an opportunity to change it? Like, I just honestly don't understand it. But they'll tweet some pictures of Neto in training, and everyone will be like, "Oh, we'll be back in 6 weeks."
Sunshine
we're 40.
roses if we win. Yeah, if we win, we'll all be
win on
bumming.
Thursday.
We're not going to win, are we? Did you watch this the other day?
Clip it
Did you
up.
watch this the other day? I know that Bayliss said Arsenal haven't been that good lately, but they're a hell of a lot better than they were last season. It's a completely different ball game because Arteta's got them playing a lot better.
They draw with Burnley last game, I think and they ain't got much. They didn't do much in the window, did they? They lost obviously. Aubameyang went. What they got, Lacazette. That's about it. But yeah, what about just throwing it out there? What about if he starts Fabio, Raul, and Podence, but plays Podence like in the 10? Fabio, Raul up front.
Putting round pegs in square holes, isn't it?
Yeah, but it looked like a. Oh no, I'm trying to think what that would actually be. Look like a number 10, and then Fabio and Raul up front instead of Dendoncker trying to bomb forward. Have Podence do it instead and play him in front of Neves and Moutinho.
It's different. There's no width. No width is a.
That's
my worry.
There's also the argument that it's going to be 3 games in what will be 8 days here. So looking on to the other team in North London, Spurs, on Sunday, and you're going, actually, do you think they're going to be fatigued, Bayliss? Because we don't have the strength in depth, and if there's no options off the bench, then those bench options are going to have to start against Spurs.
Yeah, and Spurs are playing better. It's the hardest game of the 3. I don't know what Wolves are doing. Jack nailed it. We've got to find out whether it's been incompetence from the club or whether it could just be an absolute blip. I mean, we've played so well of late that we can't let this 90 minutes completely take away everything that's happened in the past month. Because we have been very good.
It's just worrying, isn't it? And
of course it's worrying. And I'll be the first to come on here on next Wednesday and run my mouth off if we're crap against both. And there's every possibility of that. But at the same time, we've got to give them benefit of the doubt at the moment. That was a blip. It was a cup game. Probably wasn't desirable given where we are in the league.
Yeah.
Let's watch Thursday night. That's all I'm thinking.
I'll be honest, it's not the performance against Norwich that worries me. It's just the availability that we don't have any players. That's the thing that's worrying. Yeah. When we can't even put out an 11 in the formation that we want to, then that's a worry, isn't it? Particularly when we've got such a busy period coming up. So really, he's going to have to take a chance probably on Chiquinho or do the 3 in midfield, and neither of those are ideal. They're not good when you're going into the month that's going to make or break your season in the Premier League after all the good work you've done on a shoestring already. So yeah, I'm worried, and I Bruno. Credit to Bruno, he might be able to get through it. We might be sat here next week and we've got 3 points or 4 points and thinking, he's done really well here, but it's still not ideal. It could be better if we had the players and the availability. So it's kind of papering over the cracks a little bit, just because we're saying, oh, don't worry, Neto will be back in 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, that's even 2 points is fine here this week.
Well,
okay.
it's just disappointing we're talking like this, isn't it? Because, like you say, if we'd have kept Adama, which I know he wanted to go and all that, we've gone over it a million times, or even if we just got some people in, because we knew we had injuries now, and it just feels like we have shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. And it's just weird because obviously we lose a game, and all of a sudden our mood, even though we're doing really well in the league still, but our mood has switched. But rightly so, though, because Neto, what is he, a month off? I think.
I
A
think
couple of weeks
March.
off. Yeah, so it's concerning, man.
Bruno Lage must be like looking round at the bench mid-game and thinking, right, where's my bench? Oh, it's in fucking Switzerland. What is that?
Yeah, and against Southampton and Brentford, he brought Adama on, didn't he? Both times, and obviously he made a difference both times, and now he's tearing it up for Barcelona. So, oh god.
Yeah.
Hungry Like Wolf says 3-5-2 with Podence, Neves and Matinho with Podence given license to support and
That's
roam.
what I was trying to. I think that's what I was kind of trying to say. Have Podence instead of Dendoncker, but Podence would have to be in the hole and be the roamer. The roamer, that makes sense, like free roam. But because Dendoncker, let's be honest, who would you rather have the ball dropped to on the edge of the box, Dendoncker or Podence? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Ruddy.
So I'm kind of with him on that one.
There's an argument, I think, for Sace to move into where Dendoncker was playing and Gomez to keep his place.
Sace what? And Sace roam forward.
You're
going to roam forward.
He said it. No, they've said it. Play Sace in midfield. Play Cody in midfield.
I mean, against Norwich, I thought. I mean, we've said he's done well, but I thought it was the first time Tossi Gomez looked very shaky at times. So I think that means Sace will be back in. But then there's a bit of cover in defence on the bench. Totti.
A score prediction, Bayliss.
Which one?
I was going to talk about the Norwich fans lying first.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're all over the place tonight, aren't we?
We are a bit.
Let's just stick with this and then we'll do that at the end.
Okay. I'm going to say it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Jack.
2-0 defeat.
2-0 defeat.
Are we just talking about Arsenal here, not Spurs as well?
Just Arsenal,
yeah. Just Arsenal. Yeah, God, if we've only got the team available that we had against Norwich, even if Raul and Sace come in, I think like 2-1 Arsenal, unfortunately.
Well, I fancy this. I think we've done well against Arsenal last season, certainly. I guess we talk about Spurs now, even though we've sort of touched on it and there's not really much that we can say because the options just aren't there. So I don't really know what we can add to that, to be honest.
Just that they're improving a lot under Conte, aren't they? And it looks like they're going to beat us.
I'm looking forward. Seems like I've been to a away game in ages. So I'm looking forward to going. That's my contribution. Did you get a ticket, Dan? Did you try and get a ticket? Or
I haven't got one for Tottenham. I managed to get some for Arsenal away.
Yeah.
Nice. It's Arsenal at home Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. And then we've got Arsenal again in was it 2 or 3
2
weeks?
weeks? Yeah.
Wow, what a mad February. It's just crazy.
Is there a situation where we could be in the top 4 come Monday? Is that a thing?
Well, if we are, we're going to look
can't be far off, I don't think.
Like Jack said, it could happen, but it just at this moment in time on Tuesday, the 8th of February, looks very, very unlikely.
We never know. One bad game. Bloody hell.
Yeah, but it's just the players available. Obviously, Raul's going to come back in. Let's hope he's firing fit. Hopefully, Sace is fully fit. Maybe Chiquinho will start and he becomes the next Messiah as a winger. And
there's something wrong here. I'm being the positive one.
I know,
There's something wrong here.
Yeah, there is something wrong.
But the consistent thing is that you're wrong again.
I'm always right. You just don't.
We've got rid of one of our attacking threats. Has gone to Barcelona, and you think that Chiquinho is going to be a good.
You lot was all slagging him off only 2 weeks ago.
Bayless, I've been consistent the whole month.
Sam packed his bags for him.
Yeah, Sam was critical.
I think if you can get someone in to replace him, I think you do, but we didn't. I stand by it. If you don't want to play for
it has been funny looking at social media though, because at the beginning of the January the people were saying get him out, he's useless, and then it's been emotional tears when he left. Then it was why couldn't Adama do this when he was with us? Like when I asked that Barcelona game, but people were pointing out, weren't they? He did, but then he'd look up, cross it, and there'd just be like going across the box because no one would be in there.
Or just fucking Dendoncker with his 50p head.
I did.
Go on, sorry.
Go on, carry on.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, well, Chiquinho, he put a couple of crosses in. No one was in there against Norwich, didn't he? So it's like a similar thing with that.
Straight swap.
Get bodies in the box.
I did have a look on Wolves' Twitter Sunday morning, and it was literally like someone had taken the pin out of a grenade and just lobbed it in. It was absolute carnage. Lost one game.
Did you have to delete any tweets the next day, or
always? I've actually deleted the app.
I think the Norwich fans need to delete their tweets as well, don't they?
Should we talk
What
about
happened
that?
there? What
Nice
happened
segue.
with the Norwich fans?
In a nutshell, from what I saw, because I didn't go on it too much, obviously I was like Jack, I was a bit disappointed. A few Norwich fans were claiming that it all kicked off around by the subway. Now, I kind of thought, yeah, that could happen because it's happened before. Let's not sugarcoat it. We ain't got the best reputation for things like that. But according to it, I don't know if it was the police or Wolves looked into it, but they checked all the CCTV and nothing happened apparently. So the Norwich fans have just got this weird thing against Wolves. And we were discussing before we come on air, weren't we? I think it's because Kevin Muscat broke Craig Bellamy's leg in like 1994 or something stupid. So they can't let it down. So they just make up weird shit and they hate us.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Mm.
Like, wasn't it
It's
like really
strange.
well articulated? Like there was like, oh, we had to jump over garden fences to
Yeah.
get away in
Yeah.
the middle of a city centre.
I was going to say, yeah, which garden fences were those? But yeah, I think the police have looked into it. The club have looked into it. There's nothing doing there. But it was quite funny to see all of the Albion Blues and Villa fans sort of all being friends around this Norwich fan on Twitter on Sunday. Very strange.
It's mad that people post stuff on social media just for attention, even though it's not true. Isn't it? That's a new one.
Yeah,
even for Norwich fans. But yeah, like they've got this weird thing. You get it about us, haven't they? We play them quite late on, don't we? In the league, quite late on. So this could come around quite quickly on them, I think. But saying that, if I want Newcastle to go down, we might just let them beat us. See how it goes.
To be fair to Norwich, we did mention last week they have proper turned their season around, haven't they? I know they made a few changes as well Saturday, and they've come and beat us. So from their point
They were
of view,
very good. That's the thing.
but they got the job done, didn't they? They got the job done at the end of the day, and they frustrated the life out of us. So,
I mean, Burnley have got 3 games in hand over Norwich, and there's 3 points between them. And then Watford and Newcastle have got a game in hand, and they're a point behind them. So I mean, they're not out.
But they're at the bottom because they don't get many points.
yeah. Talking of games in hand, Spurs have got one on us, haven't they? Even though
No, the other way around, I think.
No,
Spurs.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Spurs have got a game in hand on us. We're level on games with Arsenal, and we're 2 points behind both of them, aren't we?
And then we got some in hand on West Ham.
Yeah, so God, mate, if we picked up 2 wins, it'd be insane, wouldn't it?
We'll actually have 3 games in hand over West Ham after they finish playing this evening.
Oh yeah, at the time of recording, there's obviously fixtures going on, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news, though.
Yeah, well, after a loss, the odds have got better. So at least it's
There you
got
go.
better.
That's something that had value.
What I do quite like, we've scored a few from outside the area against Arsenal in previous years. So Neves just to score from outside the box is 10-1.
Oh,
Decent price.
he had one the other day, but he flopped it, didn't he?
I'll do the negative one first, which is Lacazette to score first. Arsenal 2-1 was 66-1, which I think is quite good value.
Bad value at all. Yeah, that's very good.
2-1 Moutinho first goal, given he's in the goals at the moment.
80.
120-1.
Oh, value.
And then Semedo first goal, 2-0 Wolves.
320-1.
It's 400-1.
Wow. And Jack, is your ticket news? You're on mute, Jack.
Yeah, sorry, I just was clicking to quickly look at the ticket news stuff. I forgot about it. Strangely enough, this is a weird one, but there are tickets left on general sale for the Arsenal game on Thursday night.
How many?
Which is like, well, there's not many left. No. I think it's just, I don't know what's happening. Is it on Amazon Prime? Is it on Thursday or what? Is it
BT Sport Thursday.
BT
Amazon
Sport,
Prime's the away one when we play them away.
But that's unknown for like a Big 6 game to go that far down. They don't usually ever put on a general sale window. It's usually just on the memberships. But
close shop, mate.
Well, that's the thing. It's definitely not now. I mean, it's helped that they've opened up the temporary stand again, but there are some tickets left. Granted, there's not many at the time of there's like 20 or 30 left at the time when I'm looking, but there is a chance to go and watch Wolves, against a classic top 6 club there, if people do want to go and do it. So if that's not a sellout, that's a bit of a disgrace, really. But I think there's a few tickets left and they will get snapped up. Rest of the home games, there's not many left for Leicester. There's not many left for Palace. The West Ham United away tickets, they are on sale to the gold and silver away season ticket holders, I think, right now, on the points as of tomorrow morning, which is when I'll be getting mine. And that's it.
And actually travelling from London, I suppose, for the Arsenal fans, because train-wise, you'd have to drive, wouldn't you? There would be no trains late enough. Would there possibly?
I'm only getting a train up. I'm looking.
Arsenal's allocation will be sold out. It's
They're
like
sell out,
3,000. It's not even a question. Yeah, it's more to do with the Wolves fans. This is.
I don't think that DT will be there, though, will he?
Don't think he'll be there.
No.
Is he the one who he's in jail? Is he?
He's one of his misses or something.
Yeah,
Is
so
he
he won't.
cool.
He definitely
He's
won't
in prison FC.
I'm tired, Robbie.
We're going to get cancelled. Excellent. Right. Well, speaking of Prison FC, so Kurt Zouma. I mean, this is a one that seems to be split in opinion quite a lot. I know TalkSport were talking about it today. So you had sort of Simon Jordan. I think they had Chris Kirkland on saying that Kurt Zouma should be sacked because he kicked his cat and wasn't very nice to his animal. I've seen the video. Has everybody here seen the video?
Yeah.
I mean, Jack, I think you were quite adamant that you'd want him out of Wolves if he was a Wolves player. Yeah,
I feel quite strongly about this, as I think you should really, if you're just a decent human being and not a total prick. And I don't think I'd care who it was really. It could be Ruben Neves, Steve Bull, Connor Cody. If I saw a video of them doing that to a defenseless animal, and it's not like you'll do it for a reason, you're just doing it for entertainment and everyone's laughing. It takes a proper like bottom feeder level of scumbag to be able to do that. And the fact he's come out and apologized and said, "Oh, the cats are really well loved." I'm like, nah, mate, you're just sorry you got caught. It's like you watch his documentaries on Netflix, and it's like that's how serial killer shit starts, by abusing and being horrible to animals. So I think this is really, really quite bad, and it's one of those videos that are just sort of hated. And I think the worst thing about it is, the people trying to justify it, and there's a lot of West Ham fans to their credit who've come out and said that it's disgraceful as well. But the fact he's been named in the starting lineup tonight, just the night after the news has broken, I think it's a real absolute disgrace by West Ham United Football Club, by David Moyes, because it's his dressing room, he needs to control it, to throw him into the starting lineup. And even his teammates should be speaking out and saying, no, while this is still being investigated, it's not just a slap on the wrist. Oh, sorry, you accidentally drop kicked your cat. There should be like really firmer punishments on it. And I think they should all really be ashamed of themselves. And I think from him especially, the whole club down. And I know people are saying, oh, he's from a different country. They have different attitudes towards animals. Well, we're not in the UK. We're proper an animal-loving country, aren't we? And if you want to come over here and get paid stupid money for kicking a ball about, you've got to abide by our rules. And honestly, I'd want him out of my club straight away the next day. I don't care who he was or who he thinks he is. Absolute wanker.
Yeah, even if you come from Cat Kickistan, it's just not really. It's supposed to be his pet. It's his pet, right? It's his cat.
Yeah, it's his cat. Yeah,
and it's not like he's sort of giving it a push with his foot or anything. He's actually picked it up and drop kicked it. It is
really bad.
You've got to be a weird sort of bastard to do that.
Didn't the police come out? I think the police have said they
the Met said they won't investigate.
Yeah, which is weird. So obviously that's why he started it tonight.
The RSPCA said anything because they're normally quite.
He's got to apparently. Well, I saw an article or something which obviously won't be true now. Because I thought West Ham was saying he's got to go on like a course like an RSPCA course or something where he, needs to learn to treat animals better. But strange, I agree with Jack. Just do that to like a
sackable offence, though, Harry. Do you reckon?
Oh yeah, I think so. Well,
bringing the club into disrepute,
some kind of suspension of some sort. You can't just go straight back in the day after. And like you say, it is a bit weird to do that to like a defensive animal. You've got to be a bit weird in the head, haven't you? Like it's a bit strange.
I think you definitely have. Yeah. Like
it's even weird that there's like. It's a pet and a sort of malicious intent to it.
Yeah.
Sort of just
why was someone recording it as well? He's like a family member, wasn't it? Like in his kitchen.
His brother, apparently. His brother, apparently, because it's just funny to.
So, but obviously, his brother or someone obviously don't find it funny because they've leaked it, haven't they? So,
well, I don't know how it got leaked. I think he's like obviously because they're all got rich and stupid. They put it on Snapchat or something, and then somebody else leaks it. But it's just like these. What's going on lately with all these players that we're idolising? And it's just like, what is going on with them? It's just so much. I think the thing is now, it's probably always been going on, but now it's just much easier to get caught because of the technology that picks it up. But it's, I hope someone breaks his leg tonight, to be honest.
I mean, I bet he's getting, we're obviously watching the game, but I bet he's getting so much stick, isn't he? From the fans of the opposition team. Yeah.
And this is what I mean. But then at the same time, a lot of West Ham fans seem to be thinking, oh, he's in the team. It's funny. And they need to stand up and make their own point known, because if it was I'd like to think if it was Wolves, we would, be booing him ourselves, and that they should be doing it as well. They might have done that. I'm not watching the game. I know it's only kicked off recently, but it's just disgraceful, really. Just
If it was in the days of Roy Keane or Vinnie Jones, he wouldn't have walked out the stadium tonight. I don't think.
No, I think it's true.
Yeah.
It's just been mishandled by everybody at every single step, I think, hasn't it? Because if he'd come out and apologised and said, "I'm going to go on this course, I'm going to give a donation to Cats Protection or something," or there's some sort of good thing potentially to come out of it, I think they would have been a little bit more understanding. But to say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they're clearly loved when the video of you volleying the cat across the room is doing the rounds on social media, it's almost tone deaf, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah. I used to have a cat called Oddbod as well, and I'd never done that to him. So I don't know why I said that. But,
If he wants to give a donation to Cats Nation, I'll happily take $7,000 off him.
yeah.
It's also the fact that it's like, oh yeah, it just so happens the one time that happened, it was filmed. Like, come on, we're not fucking stupid, are we? It's obviously bollocks. You should be banned from owning animals. And
I saw one West Ham fan say, I mentioned on WhatsApp earlier, he should be able to play because when Alonso did his hit and run in Spain, he played the next game. But
I mean that's
strange.
What about Gordon Elliott, Jack?
What about Gordon? Well, he got banned, didn't he? He got banned for a year, exactly.
What was that for? Is that a horse?
He was a dead horse.
They were all yeah, posing for selfies with a dead horse, really. So I'm hoping this one won't just fade away. I know the Met said they wouldn't investigate, but they changed their minds depending on the day, don't they? But I think the RSPCA and maybe some other police forces might look into it. But just to throw me straight into the starting lineup like nothing's happened, what sort of example does that set to young West Ham fans or football fans who think, oh, you can do that, but it doesn't matter, there's no consequences, you still get paid your 70, 80 grand this week and then you're back in the team? Like, it just leaves a very bitter taste in the mouth, and I don't like it.
I think the generation of idolising idiots and arseholes continues, doesn't it?
It does. It seems to be one every week at the moment. But there we go. Well, look, we will be going to the game on Thursday. Hopefully it will be a joyous occasion. Hopefully Molyneux will be rocking again. Harry will be there with his shirt off, no doubt, because the game won't be on in the concourse, so we'll have to watch the game, Harry. So we will say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
Yeah, easy 6 points coming up. Let's go.
Dan Bayliss.
Yeah, goodbye, Wolves fans.
And Jack Williams.
Bye, everybody.
And it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Ta-da.